So hi everybody, today for my Asperger's blog, I'm going to talk about mutism with Asperger's syndrome or high functioning autism. Now, with high functioning autism and Asperger's syndrome, a lot of times the mutism isn't complete. It's something that just affects us occasionally. Especially, at least for myself, I find that the times I've been most hit with mutism were when I was like really anxious or at times when I was bullied or mistreated. And I'll start kind of like when I was younger. My mutism episodes until I was an adult, I didn't even really recognize them as such because, I didn't know I had Asperger's syndrome, so I didn't understand what the symptoms were. And it doesn't really necessarily come across as mutism. A lot of times when kids would pick on me or say really mean things, I wouldn't respond at all. And a lot of them, they kind of thought that, that was weird, and they would make fun of me even more because I didn't respond when they would make fun of me. But it wasn't that I wasn't responding like purposefully or anything like that. It was like I couldn't respond. I didn't know how to respond, and the only way I could deal with it was to, like, I guess, shut down in a sense and not talk, or just almost like pretend that I wasn't there, or like, it wasn't happening. That's the only way I can really explain it. And it used to really bother me because some people, when they would pick on me and then I would shut down, especially like in middle school, they would say things like, oh, she has no feelings, or, you can say anything about her and she, it won't bother her. And the fact is, I was actually really, really sensitive, but I didn't know how to respond to bullying. And I had a couple really bad bullies in middle school, and one of them I was actually even afraid for my, like, physical safety, because she was always threatening to hurt me physically, or, just trying to intimidate me physically, kind of like, push me, shove me, that kind of thing, threaten to, kick my ass or whatever. And that really, it affected me strongly, and I never could really respond to her face. I couldn't really stand up for myself, and I realize now that I couldn't even tell others about it. Like, I never even told my mom at the time what was happening to me at school, because I couldn't, and I don't quite understand why, but I don't think I could have talked about it even if I wanted to. And hopefully other people who have Asperger's syndrome, you might understand that and relate a little bit to it. I know it's probably hard if you're neurotypical to understand that, but I really don't think I could have talked about it even if I wanted to. And as an adult, things have gotten better, but I still somewhat have some mutism issues, especially when I'm feeling anxious, or like somebody is mistreating me, or, just dislikes me. And I, I get really anxious, for one thing, around authority figures, um, bosses, and when I was in school, teachers, and things like that, police officers, things like that. And it's not like I disrespect them or I don't like them, they just make me really anxious. And sometimes it can get better. Like, I've had jobs where I had really understanding, nice bosses, and I kind of got over that. But there were other places I worked where I had bosses who either, like, constantly were over my shoulder, like, watching everything I did, and that made me so anxious that I couldn't stand it. Or I would have bosses who were just kind of mean and yelled at everybody, took it out on everybody else when they were having a bad day. And those kind of bosses really, I had a hard time with. And sometimes I would be hit kind of with a temporary kind of mutism, where I would just, withdraw into myself. And most of the time I was able to still, complete my job. But it's something that I don't think people who haven't dealt with it would understand. But if you've dealt with it, I'm sure you understand a lot of kind of where I'm coming from. And today I actually had a little bit of a mutism episode. But in this case, I was at a place doing something that well, I'll just explain. I'm kind of wanting to get like a part-time job, maybe just to do something like outside of the house, because when I'm at home doing my writing and artwork and stuff, I love that, and I wouldn't give that up for the world. But there's a part of me that thinks I might like to at least get out a few hours a week and do something. So I was at a place and I was asking about a job there, and it looks like they may possibly have a part-time position soon, and it's somewhere I'd really like to work. So I left my business card, and the business card doesn't have my phone number on it because I give it away like to anybody who wants to know about my art and writing, and I don't necessarily want every single person calling me at home. So it doesn't have my phone number on it, and I went to write my phone number on the back of it, and like I couldn't remember my phone number, and it was really freaking me out. I was like so anxious and nervous, and I was trying not to show it because I didn't want to look like, I was like that kind of person who, could forget their own phone number. But luckily, I do have an account at the place where I went, and they had like, all my information on the computer, and I felt really stupid, but I was, I asked her if, she could look up my phone number. I just, kind of explained that, I don't really use my home phone number much, so I, was kind of drawing a blank on it. And I'm sure that's happened to other people too, but I know with me a lot, it was the anxiety. Like when I'm not anxious, I could think of stuff like that off the top of my head without a problem. But when I'm anxious, it's like not only do I sometimes struggle to talk, but I struggle to even remember things or get my mind to put things in order. And again, that may be hard to understand if you've never experienced anything like that. But for me, it's definitely a struggle. And on top of that, I also have like fibromyalgia, which can cause kind of like some cloudy thinking, I guess, which, that together with the symptoms of autism can definitely sometimes make me just blank out or whatever. But anyway, that's what I wanted to talk about today, was just my personal experiences with the whole mutism thing. And if you yourself have ever struggled with any kind of mutism, feel free to comment and tell me kind of your story, what you've experienced. And I hope you enjoyed this video, and I appreciate you watching. So thanks, everybody. Bye.